Hey there, coaches. It's Sanae here. How are you doing? So, in this very quick message, I want to talk to you about persistence. Persistence, the ability to keep going no matter what, the ability to push through and keep on trucking in spite of all the internal discomfort you're feeling, the insecurities because you're pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone, the ability to keep going no matter what results or what evidence is showing you. You know, if there's no evidence of things working, but you keep going anyway, that's persistence. And I want to remind you of the importance of persistence, but I want to kind of insert a caveat into this because I'm having a few conversations with people, clients and peers where the conversations are sort of, we're talking about what do you do when you're showing up or you're creating events and you're putting yourself out there and nothing is happening. Like you're not getting any fruits from your labors. At what point do you change tack? At what point do you think, I quit? This isn't working. I might as well change tack or, change direction. At what point do you do that? So the important thing here that I want to say to answer that question that we forget, I think, is when you are being persistent and you keep going, you keep going, and you keep going, you're pushing through and you're pushing through. The most important thing that I think most of us forget at times is simply this. Are you enjoying yourself? Are you enjoying what you are doing? Because if you are not, then that's the question. That's the thing you need to look at. Because when you the alternative is this: when you're in alignment with what you love to do, when you are showing up because you love showing up and sharing your message, when you're teaching something you're passionate about, when you've got your eye on the ball, on the goal, you've got your eye on the goal, you know what it is you're going after, you have that purposeful intention, you are focused on what it is you want to create, and you persist with all of that in mind as your focus, and you are enjoying what you are doing, then you keep going. You can persist. Persistence becomes something that is almost like that, the quality of that is admirable. And you can feel pride in your ability to persist and keep going with faith, with real faith. But when you are beating a drum of something because you think it's going to get you the results, even though you're not enjoying yourself, then that's where that persistence becomes kind of deluded. You know, I had a client this morning saying, well, if I'm doing that, then, and it's not working and I'm not getting any fruits, isn't that deluded? And it's like, well, the difference between whether it's deluded or not is whether you are actually in alignment with your purpose and doing what you love. If you feel passionate about what you're doing, if you feel passionate about what you're doing and you put out an event and you get 2 people and one of them is your mum, that's okay. You keep doing it. And I remember years ago, I watched a documentary on Netflix, and I think it was called Minimalism, but it was about these 2 boys who got together and they created kind of this way of living, this minimalist way of living, and they wrote a book about their concept, teaching how to do this. And they went on the road, and the documentary followed them on the road, promoting their book. So they would rock up at these towns and they would go to these sort of markets, and they would set up their table and they'd put their books up and present their books, and they would talk and teach and present on this way of living and all the benefits of living this way. And there were many moments, and this is what touched me the most about this documentary, is there were moments where these boys, they would go back to their hotel room on a night, having tramped the streets and promoting their book and talking at these workshops where sometimes could have been an empty room, or sometimes there were 2 people showed up or 10 people showed up, nobody bought. And this documentary showed them going back to their rooms, their hotel rooms, and just going through the feelings of being so defeated and wondering whether to give up. And the point is that they never did. Like, they allowed themselves to feel those feelings when they came up, and then they got some sleep. They had a good meal and they went to sleep. And the next day they got up and they just got back on the horse and started again, trucking. And it was because they were aligned with their passion and their purpose. And at some point there was that tipping point. Malcolm Gladwell talks about this in his book, The Tipping Point. There's that tipping point where things start to gather momentum. Things start to shift. And they started to make sales. They started to get recognized. They got on a radio show. They got invited to, and that was their moment. They got invited to talk on a radio show, or it might have been a TV, like a Good Morning Britain type of thing in America. They got invited onto this show, and that was the exposure that totally transformed everything for them. So it is really about continuing with persistence, but doing it because you love it, and detaching from the outcome. Do it because you love it, and that will make that persistence. It won't even feel like you're persisting. I mean, of course it does, and it is persistence, but it's just because you're enjoying yourself. You've got to have that enjoyment. Otherwise, what is the point at the end of the day? And if you're not enjoying it, it's that energy goes out there. You're putting that energy of, I'm not enjoying this. This is relentless. I'm pissed off. I'm being needy and desperate, and I'm getting frustrated. All of that energy is going out there, and it's infusing into your content. It's infusing into your body language, into your voice, into your messaging. And people can sense it. They pick it up subconsciously, of course, but they are picking up on it. So that's my message for today. If you heard this, I hope it landed and that it was something you needed to hear. Just keep going. All right, lots of love. Thank you for watching, and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye for now.